Welcome back. It's payday, and this payday I took home $4,885.40. Every time I get paid, I like to take my paycheck, stick it into the software that you see on screen, which is called YNAB, and give every single dollar a job. My partner contributed $920, and out of this paycheck, $0 were invested automatically. So that gets us to our total of $5,805.39 to go ahead and budget. All right, so this is the first paycheck of October, and we're currently in the month of October, and October is not funded. So that means I need to use this money to go ahead and fund the rest of our spending for the month. I always like to start with fixed costs. These are the things that you have to pay for that you know you're going to need throughout the month. So for me, that's things like rent, that's things like car payments and food, all that stuff that you know you're going to have to pay for. It's all in my lovely fixed costs category here. So I'll start with home. As you can see, rent has already come out for the month, along with storage, our garage that we also rent, and our building utilities. So all of that has already come out, and that was assigned with the previous paycheck, which was our last paycheck of September. And so now we have other things to fund in this home category to make us whole. So utilities, this is our gas and electric. I like to set aside $400 for the month. I think that's a little bit more than what we average right now. So our average for the year so far is $291. So I might be able to lower that, but I do know as it gets colder, we tend to spend more on gas as we're running the heat and electric as well. So I'll leave it as $400 for now. And then anything that's extra, I will at the end of the month scoop up and roll somewhere else. Wi-Fi is $125 a month. And then renter's insurance. This is actually a sinking fund. So this money only comes out once a year. And it's going to be somewhere around $170 based on what it was earlier this summer. So I just set aside $14 a month. And that way, when that bill is due, it's already ready to go and be paid. We also pay for a cleaning service to come twice a month, and that is $300. And household goods, we've already spent quite a bit from just restocking on a lot of things that we need around the house. So this category gets $800 a month, and you can see so far we've already spent half of that. So I definitely need to slow down the spending for the rest of the month. All right, food and drink. Let me close this. Food and drink, this is our regular spending that we need here. First up is a meal kit, and for our meal kit, we set aside $125 a week. So that means that for the month of October, because there are 5 weeks when this comes out, that would be $625 total. So I'll set that aside. Groceries, let me see here. Okay, our average spent is $266.69. I've just been setting this target at $300, and we're just going to keep going with that. As you can see, we've already spent about $100 out of there. So the rest of that $300 needs to last us the rest of the month. And then meals at work. This needs $100. And this is just for my partner to get any meals while they are out on the job. All right, next we have planes, trains, and automobiles, which is my transportation category. So there are a couple different bills or funds that are in here. The first is my auto loan, which is $600 a month. And then auto insurance is a sinking fund that I set aside money for every single month so that when it's time to pay it, I think we pay that twice a year, that is ready to go. Same thing with taxes, registration, and fees. I like to just build this up over time so that way I have some money in there as needed. And car cleaning and maintenance, which is, it's not really a sinking fund, but I haven't been cleaning my car very much lately, so it's building up a little bit too. And lastly, seasonal tire swap. This is something that I get done twice a year to change out my all-season tires for winter tires, in the fall, and then I reverse that in the spring. So all together for all of these, which I consider part of the total cost of ownership for my car, that's $330.85. I'll hit underfunded there. And then I'm just going to round these out because I like seeing whole numbers on my budget. Okay. And lastly, in this category group, we have charging. I have an electric car, so I need to set aside money to go ahead and charge it. And so now that is all funded. All right. In the me category, I like to give myself some money for personal care. I give myself $150 a month, but this month I've already done some shopping and basically spent $150. So I'm not planning to give myself anything else there. I think that that's fine. Okay, and I did a little switch up. I saw a comment in an earlier video where someone was saying, oh my gosh, you have so many subscriptions. And yes, true. We might have a lot of subscriptions, but before I had one big long subscriptions category that had active subscriptions, canceled subscriptions, or like pause subscriptions that we may subscribe on and off to throughout the year, and all of our annual fees all in one big category group. And so since then, based on that feedback, I decided to clean it up a little bit. And now I have a category for active services, paused or canceled services, which you won't see here because I obviously don't need to fund those ones. And annual fees, it's now its own separate category group. So here in this month, you can see I've already paid for a few of these services. So like my phone, Netflix, premium connectivity, Prime Video, no ads, because I don't know why there's ads on that service. But anyway, and Paramount Plus, those have already come out. Paramount Plus is one of those that we might fund sometimes throughout the year if we want to watch something, and then other times we just like don't pay for it. Same thing with HBO Max. That's something that we subscribe to on and off. Right now it's active, so I'll set aside $19. And then next I have my Apple Music subscription, which needs $13. Chani, which is my astrology app, that gets $14. Apple Cloud gets $10. And New York Times All Access, what happened there? I think it came out earlier. Something weird happened where I didn't get my full reimbursement. So I've already covered that. And Walmart, I will not put any money toward just because it is an active subscription, but it is actually 100% reimbursed by one of my credit cards. So there's no need to fill that up. So that is done. And now those annual fees I was talking about, we have a lot of credit cards that have annual fees. So I don't know, maybe I'll trim those down in the future. Maybe I won't. Also Aura, I bought an Aura ring last month, and I got one free month of the membership, and then I didn't realize they were going to charge me for the annual membership after that. So I just paid for that, and I'm just going to start setting aside a little bit of money every single month for that going forward. So I think I've already set the target. Yeah, next month. So I'll just start contributing a little bit to that for the year. All right, so going back to the top, we have Chase Sapphire, which gets $8. Blue Cash, which is one of my credit cards, means $7. YNAB, which is the app that you see on screen, that gets $9. Amazon Prime gets $12. Costco gets $5. Microsoft 365, which we recently subscribed to. Super weird that you have to subscribe to every service now, including like Microsoft, which used to be able to just download, to your computer and have forever, but no. So now we have to pay an annual fee for that. Samsung TV Art, which is art that goes on our TV, pretty self-explanatory, I guess. That is about $54, $55 a year. So I'm going to set aside a little tiny increments throughout the year there. Our Amex Platinum needs $123 and our Amex Gold needs $30. Okay, so now that is all taken care of, and our debt payments my debt payments have already come out for the month. That includes my student loan and also money that I owe from my income taxes from last year. So that is everything within fixed costs. We'll move on to savings goals. Savings goals are just categories that I set aside a little bit of money toward every single month. So for my health, I like to have this kind of holding category for any medical expenses that I will need to cover for myself throughout the year. Since I have an HSA, I don't have co-pays, but I do have other costs that I need to take care of. So I set aside $125 there. And then for giving, the first is holidays, and I'll set aside $125 for holidays as well. And that will get me to $1,500 for the year. We're on track, and I've already purchased one gift. So the rest of this will go to any other festivities. Actually, I wanted to change this to festivities because I wanted it to be a little bit less focused on maybe like, I don't know, consumeristic things and more just on the holiday spirit, which is what I think a lot of this money ends up going towards anyhow. So yeah, that's that category. Gifts for others for non-holidays means $40, and mutual aid means $10. So I'll set that aside now. Travel, I will skip for now, as well as nest egg. I will bring those up in later videos when I do a little more funding of them. And then for guilt-free spending, first up is restaurants. Woo, we spent a lot. How is it possible that we spent so much already? I don't know, but let's just fill this up to $900 and try to slow it down for the rest of the month. Coffee, we have spent from as well. Oh yeah, we went to a cafe. And then my partner needed to get Starbucks while they were out. So that's another $25. So we'll keep an eye on these two as the rest of the month plays out. I also recently got a gym membership. So it's like $20 a month, I think 20 something dollars. So that will just be a recurring lifestyle expense going forward. And then I usually give myself guilt-free spending money. And that is where I have some overspending. Unlike a lot of people, as soon as I heard The Life of a Showgirl, I was obsessed with it. And I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to buy an album or a bunch of variants before I've heard it. I think that's like absolutely ridiculous. So I wasn't a part of that frenzy early on, but I did buy the album, and I accidentally bought it twice. And I also went to go to the movie theater to watch that. I totally forgot about that. So I did a lot of like Taylor Swift related spending, but I did accidentally order the album twice. I couldn't figure out a way to cancel one of them, so I'm just going to wait till it comes and then send it back because they didn't give me another option. But that's where that overspending is coming from. So happy TS12 to all who celebrate. And yeah. And then hobbies. I have 2 transactions that come out here for Adobe products that are a lot of help when I make these videos. So I decided to I tried them out last month. I'm going to keep with it. So I'll make it just a regular thing that I cover and that I pay for every single month out of my hobbies and guilt-free spending money. So that's that. If we go back to the top of October, we're underfunded by $134, and that is this personal care that I said I was not going to fund. So let's snooze it. And then we should be fully funded for the month. Yay. All right. So this paycheck was all about getting on track for the rest of the month of October. Now I think we'll flip over to November with the rest of this money and start funding ahead into next month. So again, starting with fixed costs. I can't cover rent, but this needs to go to rent because what am I talking about? I'm not a month ahead, so I have to cover rent before it comes out. So I'm going to start with our storage, garage, and building utilities. Maybe I'll put $1,000 toward rent. I don't know. I don't actually really want to do that. I guess I can do it with my next paycheck. It just feels like a lot to come out. So I'll put $400 toward utilities. Again, fill up that Wi-Fi for $125, renter's insurance for $14, cleaning service gets $300, and we don't have enough for household goods. So let's see what else we can fund with the remaining $500. You know what? Meal kit needs exactly $500, so I'll fund that for next month. And then I have $14 left, so I think I can probably cover a subscription. And yeah, I will cover Paramount Plus for $14. And with the remaining 34 cents, I will go back to October and just plop this into holding. So that's it. All the money is assigned. Thank you so much if you made it this far in the video, and I'll be back with another one so we can finish funding the month of October. Bye.